should the Celtics be all in on Kyrie? We'll start with you, Max.
Absolutely yes. Danny Ainge needs to give Kyrie Irving a super max contract. And I say that in spite of the fact that Kyrie Irving has had knee issues and has never been the best player on a championship team. But the question is, do you believe he can be? I did not once believe that. I now believe Kyrie Irving can be the best player on a championship team. He's shown an unselfishness with his play, leadership qualities that he wasn't able to display fully in Cleveland in LeBron's shadow. He is a great player in his prime. The Celtics have a great team. And the question with Supermax deals is, does the player deserve it? And will it inhibit you from chasing a championship? The answer is yes, he deserves it. No, it won't inhibit them. In fact, the idea that, well, you're already paying Horford and you're already paying Gordon Hayward and you're going to have to pay Tatum and you're going to have to pay Brown and you're going to be knee-deep in luxury tax forever.
Right.
That's right, Stephen A. There's a tide in the affairs of men. Right now is when Danny Ainge has to push his chips in the middle of the table because they have a chance to be a dynasty.
Go ahead, Will.
All right. The question is, Max, how all in should the Celtics be on Kyrie, right? And I'm going to tell you this. They need to have really significant reservations. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why, and you acknowledged one of them right there. First of all, you have to start with Kyrie's health concerns. You have to start with the knee. That at every step of the way, this knee has been more problematic than everybody thought, to the point where you're pulling things out, then you're finding loose screws, then you're finding infected screws. And when you're talking about a knee, I don't care if you're 26 or 27 years old, when you're talking about a knee in basketball of all sports, you better have serious concerns before tying up long-term big money to Kyrie Irving. That's one. 2, you do have to, as you pointed out, and you acknowledged there, recognize you don't want to get into a situation that the Golden State Warriors are figuring out how they're going to negotiate themselves through. And I understand the Warriors so far have won championships while looking at that problem down the road. But if you've got Brown up in 2 years, Tatum up in 3 years. You got Horford in the middle there as well if you want to keep Horford around. You got Hayward beyond that. You've got guys that are integral to your plan, that every step of the way, every year on out, you're going to have to ask yourselves, how much are we all in on that guy? So how many guys can you be all in on? The answer most of the time is about 3 at the most. So is Kyrie one of your 3? Are you sure he's one of your 3? Yeah, you got Tatum. Yeah, you got Brown. Is he your 3rd? Because here's the final point, Max, I think the most important one. We know that the Celtics are stocking up assets, young players and draft picks. And we know that Anthony Davis is hanging out there for some team to make a move on. Woj just talked about, if not this year, most likely at the end of this year, next summer, Davis becomes a real trade target. What's up?
No,
Anytime you want to get in on that.
No, I want to get in because there's 2 things I think y'all missed based off of what Kyrie Irving said. Number 1, Al Horford is coming up too. He's going to be in a position where they need to take care of him. But number 2, and more importantly, look at the words that Kyrie Irving elocuted. If you guys will have me. I know you brought up the max deal, Max, but the thing about it is, Kyrie Irving is saying to the Boston Celtics, if you guys will have me. In other words, if you guys are going to make me the best offer. That's what he's saying. Because we know he's going to get it from the New York Knicks.
And that's
the New
why
York
I'm
Knicks
saying,
will make Kyrie that offer.
Stephen A., that's why I'm saying they should make him the best offer, and they're in the position to make him the best offer. Will, I'm going to address your points 2 and 3.
All right.
2 is how many guys can you be all in on? The answer is, if you're willing to pay the luxury tax, to have a dynasty. Very few teams have a chance to even really, truly chase a championship, let alone a dynasty. The Boston Celtics are in that position. Then the answer is you can be all in on as many great players as you have on your team because you can grandfather in the contracts. It's a soft cap. It inhibits you from going after max free agents. But if you're willing to pay the luxury tax, and they'll be printing money in Boston if they have a dynasty, then it doesn't matter how many guys. If you have 5 great players, be all in on 5 great players. Can I just, on that one really quick, Max, before you go to the second one? I think that fans, and Max, you're more than a fan, and you know what you're talking about, but we always brush away money concerns when it comes to owners, like big deal, paper money, monopoly money, who cares? That luxury tax is serious. It is egregious. It's terrifying the Warriors. Don't act like you can have 5 guys maxed out and who just pay the luxury tax because dynasties print money. It gets exorbitant fast. Right. I agree. But although that's repeaters tax, you can still. Right, but the Celtics aren't where they're going to be yet. They should re-sign Horford. Kyrie is their best player. Give him a supermax. Gordon Hayward makes money. One day soon's going to be the focal point of that offense. You're going to have to pay him. Okay, the
Max,
second. Yep.
I'm going to tell you what I think you're missing here. The thing I think you're missing here is this. It all depends on where you're worried about him going as well. Like, for example, if you say he's going to go to the New York Knicks because the New York Knicks is going to offer him max dollars and you're en route for a championship and the health of Kristaps Porzingis is questionable and Kevin Knox doesn't pan out, but the Knicks is still offering him the max, then you might not mind him going to the New York City to play for the Knicks. But if he were to go to Golden State, if he were to go to the Lakers, and I don't see that happening, if he were to go to someplace that would get in the way of your title aspirations, then you got to take that into consideration as well if you're going to lose a Kyrie. Those are the kind of things I would think about as well, Max.
Look, if the New York Yankees have Mickey Mantle, but they have to pay a whole bunch of guys, or Joe DiMaggio, you have to keep
Most
that
of our
guy.
audience don't remember who Mickey Mantle is, Max. This is a new generation. How many times do I have to tell you that?
The point is, Kyrie Irving, look, I want to get to the AD stuff.
Yeah,
okay?
you got to get there.
Ahead.
That's the biggest
Anthony Davis, you're right, Will. If I had a chance to trade Kyrie for Anthony Davis, even if I needed a point guard and I had bigs, I would still take Anthony Davis because he's a 5-star player, MVP, and maybe Kyrie's a 4.5-star player, somewhere between an all-star and an MVP. But that's pie in the sky. The Celtics won't be the only suitors for Anthony Davis. You don't know that Anthony Davis wants to go to Boston. You have the bird in the hand. You have Kyrie Irving. Keep him.
Your last word is yours. 30 seconds. Go.
Anthony is worth the risk. Anthony Davis is worth the risk. And if you're trading for him with 2 years out on his contract, whether or not he wants to be there or not, you go for it. If my choice is to have 3 guys to go all in on, and it's Tatum, it's Brown, and it's Anthony Davis, or it's Tatum, it's Brown, and it's Irving, I know exactly which choice I'm going with. And by the way, I will give you this, Max. You hardly ever let superstars walk, right? So does Kyrie become the trade chip that brings Anthony Davis? I acknowledge that.
Will Cain, I will say this. I think you need to give Max Kellerman props in this particular segment. He actually only interrupted you one time.